This is amazing.
How you doing, Conley?
Good to see you. I can't believe this.
Well, you're one of the few people that have actually seen all three Nerdvilles.
I'm honored.
People have actually seen all three. This is the one we refer to as Nerdville East, which if I knew I was going to move to New York, I would have called it something else. But now that the sign is made, it's...
There's no backing out of it, is there? I've never actually asked you, why Nerdville?
Nerdville is a combination of two things. I grew up in a little town called Yorkville, New York. And my sister, who is 4 years younger than me to the day, Lindsay, she, as we were growing up, I was always into this stuff, right? I was always into guitars. I was always a nerdy kid. Nothing's changed 44 years later. And so she used to call, our hometown Dorkville, and then she used to call me a nerd. So I basically combined the two, and we call it Nerdville. It kind of just created a brand overnight, and it really boiled down to two things. There really is the guy you see on stage. Then there's this disheveled mess who lives in these places full of stuff that I've collected over the last 25 years. So I live in it. So when people first see it, it's a very overwhelming experience.
Yeah.
To me, it's just, this is my house. You know what I mean?
This
is where I live.
So come on then, give me the tour.
So one of the things that I collect, our point of purchase signs. All of this stuff here, I either hunted down, found in the wild. It has a story. This is from the 30s.
I mean, that's gorgeous.
That was found on Melrose in West Hollywood at a clothing store. A friend of mine walked in, was like, you sell vintage t-shirts, and this thing happened to be on the shelf, and he made him an offer, but he was from Europe, and he couldn't bring it back. So he called me, he's like, hey, do you want this black diamond string display?
And is it really heavy?
No. It's not that heavy.
It's not heavy at all.
But that would have sat on a counter in a drugstore or a music store back in the day.
Yeah. So when did this, I'm going to call it an obsession because it is, isn't it? When did it start for you?
It was just an obsession from almost birth. And I just love history. I love the Americana thing. Everything here was made in America. You know, my dad had a music store. We would do guitar shows. After I was done with my algebra, I would get the Tom Wheeler book out, and I would read it cover to cover and learn about guitars, but mostly it was just the pictures of these things. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought, I would just want to see one of these things. I want to see a Sunburst Les Paul. I want to see a early 50s Telecaster or Stratocaster.
Dr. Hook then, what's that? It's like a tour jacket.
That was the very first one that I found, and we can get some of the other ones out, but the other ones I have I found an original B.B. King from '89, which was the same tour coats that BB's crew and band were wearing when I first met him.
Right.
I have an Albert King one, which is really rare because I don't think Albert really didn't want to spend unnecessary funds. Again, it goes with music, but it's also...
There's a story there as well because it's part of the tour and kind of what happened there.
And it just looks good up there.
Do you have tour jackets for your tours?
It's too cheap for tour jackets. That's good money. I can buy more signs.
I love it. Now, you mentioned B.B. King, because obviously, he was a mentor to you. I mean, how old were you when you met him?
May 24th, 1990. It was a day that changed my life. I mean, it was a gentleman. He called me up on stage, and it was the first time I was on a big stage with a big crowd. And it was just one of those things that I knew exactly what I wanted to do for the rest of my life from that moment on.
Really?
I was laser focused. I want to play the same places just like B.B. King, and that was it.
Okay, show me some of the guitars then. That's what I'm itching to have a look at.
Right. I like folk art, so I don't know who Harlem Odom is, Odom, but I like his style. I just love it because of the folk art.
Yeah, it's great.
And again, the thing that's really, really intriguing to me, it's primitive social media. It's like you're on stage doing it. whatever jitterbug you were playing at the time. And who is that on stage? I love it. Oh, it's Harlan Odom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a way to advertise your brand. So this is Bella Lee. She was a member of the.
Am I allowed to touch?
Yes, you can. Bella Lee is a member, or was a member, of the New England Bluegrass Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And this was her guitar.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, so that's a 1955 or 56 J50.
Right.
Okay. Not the most collectible acoustic guitar in the world, but a great playing acoustic guitar. The reason why it's here is
because
the
of
obvious. I wouldn't
the-
have bought this if it wasn't modified. Now, in the collector market, you could say, well, it's been modified, so it's not worth as much, but this is a one of a kind, and to have that is pretty cool.
That is. And I think
Provenance.
I'm sorry, but I think this actually looks quite good on me. It goes with my outfit.
Are you going to steal it on the way
I
out?
am.
You're gonna just, hey, look over there. And it's,
Quickly, put it in the bag. Yeah, I
But-
mean, yeah, that's something else. That is super.
yeah, and
Cool
and,
looking.
and it is super cool looking. I mean, none of the guitars on the wall are in tune. Yeah, so for obvious reasons, but it's very cool. And my job as a collector, because all this stuff is going to go to somebody else. I mean, I'm like be the biggest narcissist in the world to say they're going to bury the collection with me.
Yeah.
So my job is to be the custodian of all this, you know. And somebody else will own Bella Lee one of these days. And
You play them though, don't you? Like some
Yeah.
of the guitars that you have are worth a stupid amount of money.
they're worth a
And
stupid amount of money.
So you actually do take them out on the road and play them. They're not in a cabinet, never being touched.
There are certain guitars, most of which reside in California, that are so preserved, so mint, that I don't have an ego large enough to go, well, I'm just going to take this thing and play it and put scratches in it, even though it's been preserved
Yeah.
for 70 years. I won't do it. What I do like to do is you find examples that are just ready to go. You know, like this one here, I bought it because of the Pinup Girl. Just an ES200, which is a kind of a rare in-between model, 1949.
Right.
And it's got this Pinup Girl. Like, they used to sell these in drugstores.
What is? Oh, so is it just a sticker?
It's a sticker. But I'll tell you what, it's not coming off. That thing
Yeah.
is. And to me, again, kind of like Bella Lee, this wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the sticker, because it's folk art.
Yeah.
This I bought from the IATSE in Roanoke, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And then, which was pretty rare to find. And then we play the same place 3 years later, and the same union guys are there, and they're like, hey, you know, we found another one of those RCAs. I'm like, yeah, right. It's sitting over there. They sold it to me. They sold me
Oh
two.
my God.
So people know that I like this kind of stuff.
Well, and I guess that's quite good because then you get the call, don't you, to say, hey, I've just seen this. Do you want it?
Correct. And
So then you have lots of people working for you, grabbing stuff around.
that's exactly
globe.
right.
Yeah.
And it's people go, well, how do you find all this stuff? I said, well, it takes you a minute to find the first thing.
Yeah.
Then the rest find you somehow.
Should we go on a guitar safari?
Let's go see if we can find something. We may actually find some stuff that I actually own.
I don't think I've ever been in a car with you driving.
I'm a very good driver.
Are you? We'll find out, won't we?
Well, I mean, in a 55 Chevy, yeah.
Oh, is that what we're going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Check out the full interview and a load more on AXS TV.